Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Chris Davis, and today we're going to do a review of Digimon Adventure 2020. So, a few months back I did some reviews of what I thought of the series as the series was ongoing, but the series ended sometime in October 2021. I meant to do a review of the whole series then, but the last episode was amazing. I really liked it, but that's precisely why I didn't come out with my review then. I wanted to wait a little bit before I did a review. I didn't want just the last two episodes to I just didn't want to be so mesmerized by the last two episodes that I say, oh, the series was great. Oh, the series was like the best. The series is good, but it has its problems that hold it back from being amazing and phenomenal. It's a good show to watch, but to me, it's not better than the original one that came out in 1999. I'm not just saying that just to be nostalgic. When I talk about Digimon Adventure 2020, when I tell you the stuff that I don't like about it, you'll see why I prefer maybe the original. Why I do prefer the original over Digimon Adventure 2020. Okay, and it's not just because I'm a nostalgic fanboy. No, if you're objective about it, Digimon Adventure 2020 has some serious issues. Has some writing problems and it has some plot holes. But before I talk about everything that's wrong with it, let me tell you what I do like about it. I do think it's a good series, but I do think some writing choices held it back from being as great as it could have been. So let me tell you what I liked about the series. I like the action in it. The Digimon, when they had them fight, they just didn't have them fight like animals and stuff. They also had them like fight like they were like martial artists and stuff. I really liked that. Liked the music and stuff. I really liked the evolution sequences. I really liked all the battles and stuff. My favorite battles were the 6 Destined, their Digimon versus Orochimon, War Greymon Essence Form versus Don Devimon. That was a phenomenal episode. War Greymon's Evolution episode. The Sagittarius and Altarius forms for War Greymon and Wergurumon were great. Vikemon's Digivolution was amazing. Seraphimon's and Alphanimon's Digivolution was great. I really liked Patamon's character arc, his character progression in that. To me, he is the better developed character out of anybody. Patamon is. When you look at his backstory and what he went through, I really liked Patamon in this show. I liked whenever Omegamon showed up. That was really good. I liked his battles against Nidhogmon and against the first Digimon that Omegamon fought. I think it was Algamon. And of course I liked the last battle against, I think, Megamon. That's who Omegamon fought in the final battle. So I really liked it whenever Omegamon showed up on the screen. And of course I like all the Digidestined getting Megas, but when it came to the Mega Evolutions, not all of them were equal. I would even say that the Digivolutions, what they had to do in order to get their Megas was better than Digimon Adventure 2020. But those are the things I really liked in Digimon Adventure 2020. Let me tell you what I didn't like about Digimon Adventure 2020. What really held it back from being a great series was the writing, the plot holes, and how things were just very convoluted. It gave me Digimon Adventure Tri vibes. Just so you know, with Digimon Adventure Tri, you really didn't know who the bad guy was, whether it was Yggdrasil or Homeostasis, or you knew the Digimon Emperor and the Dark Jedi were the bad guys, but you didn't realize, other than him, who was bad, who was the bad guy here, or were they both being played? It wasn't clear, but Digimon Adventure 2020 was giving me those vibes. So it really started off really good. I think the writers wanted a darker series, so they were going for this thing where there was an ancient war in the past, but in the ancient war, the light side and dark side destroyed each other. But when you look at the show, it looks like the dark side really won, because when the show was beginning, the dark side had all this power and stuff, and you're wondering, okay, if you guys destroyed each other, or if you really won in the end, like Valrudamon said in episode 5, how come the bad guys have so much resources and so much power and stuff? Like, when you look at the beginning of the show and Digimon Adventure 2020, you see Devimon, and he has his whole army, and he has a swarm of Sound Birdmon who can spy on his enemies everywhere. He has all of these people looking around, seeing who's going to rise up against him. And you're like, how can they in episode 5 tell us that both sides were destroyed, or the good side won, when we're looking at this show now and all the bad guys have all this power and all these resources, and they have like a military and army and stuff, and they're so sophisticated? How can you like sit there and tell us that you won, but the bad guys really have everything? They even have the 2 holy Digimon captured. So how did the light side win? And see, this is where I'm talking about, where it gets very convoluted. Okay. Another part why I didn't like Gatomon. When War Greymon destroys Millenniumon Essence form and Dark Knightmon, it looks like that Gatomon was imprisoned inside Dark Knightmon. But as we progress with Gatomon, she says that she wasn't in prison. Well, let me wind that back. Okay, when one of the episodes starts, the narrator explains that Gatomon was Dark Knightmon. So they didn't even show you that. They didn't even really explain it. The narrator told you that. So on that episode where War Greymon destroys Dark Millenniumon's essence and Dark Knightmon, you see that it looks like that Gatomon was imprisoned inside Dark Knightmon. But on the next following episode, the narrator tells you that Gatomon was Dark Knightmon. But they should have showed you that. They should have told you that. The narrator shouldn't have explained that to you. You should have been able to see that for yourself, or Gatomon should have explained it to you. It shouldn't have looked like in one episode that she was imprisoned inside of the armor, and then the following episode the narrator told you, No, she wasn't in prison in there. She was Dark Knightmon. You couldn't tell that by just looking at the episode. They should have elaborated and gone into more detail about that. And so that's kind of the things I got irritated about. And another issue that I had was with Gatomon, that her character development, sometimes it really felt marginal. It felt marginal because, again, we're going on this convoluted stuff. Was she a prisoner? Was she not? On Gatomon's, when she digivolves to Anja Woman, it gets really confusing. She's about to turn into Dark Knightmon, but the way she's explaining it, that she was a prisoner, but she was Dark Knightmon. Were you a prisoner of him, or were you Dark Knightmon? Which one was it? I mean, was it maybe both? Maybe you were Dark Knightmon and you felt like you were imprisoned? You should explain that more. I shouldn't have to go through my head canon in order to figure that out. But another issue that I had was that Gatomon explicitly tells you that she destroyed Millenniumon. But when you go off into the later episodes, probably like episode 48 or 49, you see that Omegamon destroyed Millenniumon. I mean, why would you say to us that Gatomon, Ophanimon destroyed Millenniumon, and then 25 episodes later, or 30 episodes later, you show Omegamon destroying Millenniumon? See, that's where we're talking about all these convoluted, bad writing. This is what holds the show back. There's a few other things, but this is the big thing. This is the big thing that people really don't talk about, the overall plot, how the writers were going to go with this darker theme, but they backed out of it as the story progressed. They backed out of it. And you really see it with Gatomon. She says she destroyed Millenniumon, but she didn't. She says that she was Dark Knightmon, but you really couldn't tell that, or they didn't even explain that very clearly when Wargreymon destroyed Dark Knightmon. So those are the really big things. When people criticize Digimon Adventure 2020, they talk about the lack of character development and how the pacing's off, and those are all true. Characters have marginal development. They're practically perfect. When has ever any of them been not their perfect virtue? What did they have to do in order to become that person or that better person? It's not really existing in Digimon Adventure 2020. The character development is very marginal. They just sprout out of the ground, and they're these shonen heroes in anime, and they know exactly what to do and stuff. There's no beginner experience. They already sprout out of the ground. They're already sprouted out of the ground. They're already heroes and stuff. So there's no beginner phase or anything like that. They're just really brave and really virtuous kids. Which I don't mind having a clear-headed person. I want a clear-headed protagonist. I don't want my protagonist to be an idiot, but also don't have them be perfect and they know everything what to do. I mean, have some kind of learning curve here. And with their virtues, if they are lacking something, make them go through some kind of challenge to where they can learn that virtue and stuff. But just for the challenges like they overcame, I never knew them to where, like Tai, for example, where his crest was the crest of courage. Well, I never known him through this entire like series of Digimon Adventure 20 where he was a coward. Like he always had the crest of courage. Matt with the crest of friendship, I could say his development was good, but it still could have been better. His development it's like they kind of soft resetted him. It's like Matt had to learn every single time to take time and help other people. He had to learn that lesson when they were storming the fortress. He had to learn that lesson 3 episodes later, maybe even 2 episodes later, when they were crossing that desert. He had to learn that same lesson when they were facing that dark Digimon that was like sacrificing Digimon and stuff. He had to learn that lesson again. I mean, like, why didn't he learn his lesson the first time? Why is he having to learn the same lesson over and over? But I'm gonna get off of that. That's what people will talk to you about. Also, the pacing. The pacing was definitely way too fast. We got ultimates way too fast, and they could have worked a little bit harder for those ultimates. We could have held off a little bit longer before we got to the perfect evolutions. And another thing that was wrong with Digimon Adventure 2020 was just the placements. The placements of the episodes. After Millenniumon, you got this crest quest where they learn all their virtues and stuff. And to me, that stuff should have came way before Millenniumon came around. It's just the placements of the episodes were so off. You could say the crest quest probably should have came before. I'd say that should have happened maybe after Dawn Devimon. Definitely after Dawn Devimon. You could probably even argue maybe before even they fought Devimon. But definitely after Dawn Devimon. We should have gotten that crest quest, not after Millenniumon. It's just the placements of the episodes were very weird. Other things that really bothered me with Adventure 2020, like Agumon and Tai got all the attention, got all the attention. They gave some to Matt in the beginning, but then Matt went off into like obscurity. Like Tai got everything, even like the good Mega Evolution. Matt's Mega Evolution was underwhelming, very underwhelming. I would even say that the Alphanimon and Seraphimon Mega Evolution was better. So was the Vikemon Digivolution better. It's just they did Metal Garurumon wrong, especially when Mugendramon showed up. That was the opportunity for the series to pay homage to the first one and have War Greymon and Metal Garurumon gang up on him and defeat him. Because in the original series, it was just Matt and Tai who had the Megas. They could have done that. Instead, they let War Greymon fight Mugendramon by himself. They have War Greymon fight Millenniumon like half the episode by himself. Like, why didn't we see them fight together? Like War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. They didn't fight like for real, for serious. Metal Garurumon didn't until like Millenniumon showed up. Not Millenniumon, but Negamon. And that's when they really started having War Greymon and Metal Garurumon really work together. But they should have done that in the Mugendramon battle, and they should have done that in the Millenniumon battle. Now, what I really liked, and what I think they could have done better on, was Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon. I think we should have gotten more of them in Digimon Adventure 2020. Definitely, we should have gotten more of them for certain. But we just got one evolution of them, and that was it. Like, they never happened. I was hoping for maybe if with War Greymon or Middle Garurumon we're having trouble with the Mega, maybe they could do a slide evolution and go into Blitz Greymon and Crest Garurumon. Maybe they could do that. Maybe they could have done a slide evolution. I definitely think they could have, because the series was showing off to the audience that nothing's off the table. They can do anything. Palmon even got an armored Digivolution, for crying out loud. I did like that, but I liked also Patamon getting a armor Digivolution. But my thing is, if Patamon got the armor Digivolution, why didn't Gatomon get hers? Why didn't we get Nefertimon? See, you could have played a really good homage to 02. You did with Pegasusmon, but you really could have done it better if you had Pegasusmon and Nefertimon. So, I'm saying, with what they were doing with the product placements of V bracelets and dim cards, well, I want to say they didn't have the V bracelet in there. They had the dim cards in there, but I don't think they had the V bracelet. They had the dim cards, but with all of that in there, I think they could have just made better choices. And I guess if I was in there directing it, like with some of those episodes, I definitely could have done like a better job than what the writers were doing. My biggest thing with Digimon Adventure 2020, what I don't see enough people talking about, is the bad writing. How the writers wanted to go for this very dark story where the dark side defeated the light side, but they backed out of it. Definitely when the series started, I thought it was going to be like on like a quest, and it was, but I thought that when they were going on this adventure that they would get more information about what happened on the Ancient War. And eventually they did, but it was until the very, very end. And even then, the information was very, very little. To me, what would have made this series even better if they gave us some flashback episodes of the ancient past. Like, show us like the whole war, like how it went down. Show us like a battle sequence or a story of the war. Like, give us a flashback. Give us like maybe two, or give us half of an episode or 2 or 3 episodes of like the ancient war, like how it happened, why it happened, and like the Digimon fighting and stuff. I think you'd killed 2 birds with 1 stone. You would have given more lore, which people love, and you would have given them a lot of action and stuff. So big things people wanted was, okay, what happened in this ancient war? How did it start and why did it start? What happened? Because we see like in the show that Angemon was held prisoner in the Dark Masma. And see, how can Valrudamon said, "Oh, we won the war," but Angemon is held captive in like the Dark I'm having trouble saying this word. Dark Masma or Miasma. How come he's trapped there if you all won? See, it's too like convoluted. Either you won or you didn't win, and that's what really holds the show back for me. I love the evolutions. I love the action in this show. Really love the music. Extreme Fight, Be the Winners, really good. Really love those songs. Like, those are really good anthem songs, especially Be the Winner. That's one of the good things the show has is the music. Really good, especially the ending to opening 1. Really good. But I like the series, but there's some problems with it, and they could have done better. When people critique this series, they talk about the pacing, yes, which is bad. They talk about the marginal character development, yes, that's true. The biggest thing I don't see people talking about enough is about like the ancient war and how the writers were gonna go for this whole darker theme, but they backed out of it. And I would have liked for them to go more into it and explain more of the ancient war, like how it happened, why it happened. Give us maybe a flashback episodes, maybe 2 or 3, explaining like how the battle went down. Instead, you have like in episode 5, Alrudamon saying the light side won, but it was a great sacrifice. But the bad guys have all these resources, all this military might. They're spying on everybody with Soundbirdmon. They're keeping Angemon captive. Gatamon's been corrupted. So 2 of the holy Digimon have been captured. You can count maybe Angemon's been corrupted because Devimon's really his shadow and stuff. So I don't know how you won when the bad guys have like everything at the start of the show and 2 of the holy Digimon are captured. Which I think, yeah, for lore topics, that was a serious thing that was lacking. I would have liked more lore. I love the action, don't get me wrong, but I really could have used more story and lore in this show. So when they freed the holy Digimon, especially Patamon, they could have used him to like tell us more about what happened in the ancient past. Instead of like that Eldoradimon falling from the sky for 20 minutes, they could have done a whole lore episode, especially with Eldoradimon. You could have had him like talk to them and tell them more about what happened in the ancient war and what happened to him, how he got stuck there and all that stuff. So that was a missed opportunity. Gatomon, I think, should have given more information, but I think they wrote out that her memory was fuzzy and stuff. But I just think overall they backed out of it. I don't know why, but you have this thing where the bad guys are hunting the chosen ones, and they're using all this military strategy to get to them. And you have like the good guys had suffered this demoralizing defeat in the past, but they don't like really explain to you who clearly won, and I would have really liked them to give us more lore and more information about that. So that's what I really would have wanted from Digimon Adventure 2020. More lore. I love the action, don't get me wrong, but I also need to get like invested like in the story and stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be that deep, but if you tease us with a very dark story where the good guys lost in the past, and they're supposedly going on this like redemption journey, and then you need to explain more of that. So Digimon Adventure 2020, good series. If you're a fan of Digimon, I definitely recommend you watch it, even though it has its problems writing wise. It has some bad writing in there. There's also some really cool good moments too, especially the last episode with Omegamon and Omegamon Alter S, really good. So that's my review of Digimon Adventure 2020. If you like what I had to share, please hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends. I know it's long. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.